Welcome back. So, Alyssa, we've been talking about raw food and how and some of the things that we need in our kitchens to prepare it easily. And so, can you share some tips with us? Like, what are some great raw fats, for example, that won't make us fat?
Well, any plant fats won't make you fat because plant fats are so much different than cooked fats. Raw plant foods are really essential. So coconuts, olives, coconut meat, coconut water, olives, avocados, and nuts are all plant fats.
And then you use them in a creative way to make the food taste a little creamier and.
Yeah, I mean, nuts can be used for pâtés and all kinds of, like a fettuccine Alfredo sauce. So, nuts are used a lot in a lot of the dishes. And, it can give food a heavy, creamy feeling or, again, more like a nut pâté. Coconut I love raw coconut. I mean, I use the meat and water in just smoothies, but I also make, like in my new book, Raw Food for Everyone, I make a coconut meringue, and you can make all kinds of desserts. So, yeah, I mean, you can, eat the food straight, obviously, like an avocado, or make guacamole and different recipes out of it. Or, broccoli soup. My broccoli soup has an avocado in it, so it gives it that really creamy, satisfying texture.
Right. I got a really great tip from your book about removing seeds from a pomegranate, and that was a revelation to me. Can you share that with our listeners?
Sure. You cut the pomegranate open, and then you just hold it under water while you're taking out the seeds.
And it's not messy. It's fantastic. I mean, it just it changes.
Because normally it goes all over the place.
Yes.
And you get it's like holding a beet. It gets all over you.
Right. And this way your fingers don't get stained or anything. And so then I store them in a little glass jar and then use them on salads and stuff. It's really great.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if you had any suggestions on what to do with the nut pulp after you blend it and strain it for nut milk, because I make nut milk and seed milk, and then the nut milk I strain, and then I don't know what to do with it, and I tried dehydrating it, and it just nothing's working. So is there anything that
you can use it for you can make crackers out of it. That's really the easiest because you can make crackers out of anything. So you can throw it in with the flax seeds. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it, and just throw in a bunch of veggies. I just put in whatever I have. So, you can use that. Or you can also make cookies, croutons in the new book, Raw Food for Everyone. There's we make the croutons with the leftover pulp. And you can also make cakes because it's, the moisture is taken out, so it makes it really dense.
Right. The cookies didn't work for me, but maybe I didn't sweeten them enough or something. They just.
Yeah, you'll have to sweeten it and, add other stuff to it because it'll be really dry. That's why the croutons work so well. But, yeah, if you add, a sweetener, they work really well for that.
And then I know you make nut flour. Now, do you soak your nuts first and dehydrate them and then make the nut flour, or do you just grind up the nuts?
Honestly, I don't, just because I don't have the time to do it. So, I mean, nuts are obviously more nutritious if you soak them and sprout them, especially like almonds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Those are the nuts and seeds that sprout. So if you can soak and sprout the almonds and then you'd have to dehydrate them because, if you're making them into a flour, you want them dry. Or, I mean, a lot of times if I'm in a hurry and I don't want to go through a 2-day process, I'll just grind them into a flour.
Okay. And then I have a question about dried cranberries, because I tried, dehydrating them whole. That didn't work. Then I tried cutting them up into little pieces.
Yeah.
So do you have any suggestions? Because I don't know how, you can buy dried cranberries at the store, but they're not raw.
Yeah, they usually have sugar in them.
Yes.
Those are really hard to get. Those are in a couple of the recipes in the new book. But we at the restaurant, the new book is all the recipes from Grezzo, my restaurant. And we worked with produce people and specialty buyers and, farmers, and they would grow stuff and they would find stuff for us. So those are hard to find. You can probably find them online without sugar and just, dried and raw.
I see, but you've never made them yourself.
No, I think they'd be kind of hard to.
Hard to do. Okay. And then what do you suggest for people to do when they're traveling on the road to eat raw?
I travel a lot. I just got home from Italy last week, and I'm going to Florida to see my family next week. And It really depends where you're going. Like when you're in somewhere like Italy, and I just, I find the best produce I can. Sometimes I'll bring things like flax crackers and things like that. So if I get sick of eating just fruits and vegetables and salads, then I can take out a cracker,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't seem like much, but I can put an avocado, a tomato, and an onion on it, and it feels like a sandwich. So it just feels more
Oh,
substantial.
that's a good idea.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so if there's little things like that, like crackers that'll last a week, that really, it doesn't sound like, like a big revelation, but it really is something that can get you through.
Right.
Or, I talk about in the book, I used to go out and I would bring fudge balls with me
Mm-hmm.
because everyone would be eating around me, and normally I'd be happy eating a salad by myself if I'm home, but,
Right.
when people are eating cooked food around you and it's your favorite food, I would just all of a sudden have the fudge balls after my salad, and I would feel totally satisfied. So it's
Uh-huh.
those little things that really make a huge difference.
Right. I know I was on a trip and I brought some raw cereal with me, dehydrated buckwheat, that I put cinnamon
Oh, yeah.
and it was great because I would use it as a snack. And then I also had some almond milk.
Yeah.
So I would have it, luckily there was a refrigerator in my room and I put the
Yeah.
almond milk in. So that was a nice breakfast because otherwise it was like bacon and eggs and I didn't really want that.
Right, and it's those little things. You can eat salads and fruits, but if you have just one or two fun things or something that you really love, it'll get you through. You won't feel deprived, and it'll satisfy you.
Right. And so tell us, like, what is a typical breakfast for you?
There's no typical, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my diet changes so much, and it's so funny because this is what I teach. When I teach my classes, people will say to me, "Well, what do you normally eat?" And I always say to people, it really, if when you think you found the perfect raw food diet, that's when you get in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not one-dimensional human beings, and it depends if where we're living, if it's cold, if it's warm, if you are stressed out, if you start exercising more or less. So really depends. Normally, my husband gets up. He gets up at like 4:30 in the morning, takes our dogs to the beach,
Mm.
and then he makes us juices. So it's like a cucumber juice, or usually, it really depends. I mean, all of a sudden I'm on this carrot kick, carrot, ginger, apple, and lemon.
Uh-huh.
Or we were making like big green juices for years, and I think he just got sick of it. But
Uh-huh.
we'll do wheatgrass and a big juice. And then a few hours later, if I'm hungry, because I'm up really early, if I'm hungry or after I work out, then I'll make it like a big smoothie with kale and Swiss chard and all kinds of stuff in it, especially if I didn't have a green juice in the morning.
You
So
know,
that's usually my morning. Once in a while, like if it's I don't know, if it's cold out or if I just feel like I need more, I'll have like chia seed pudding or something like that. But usually it's juice and smoothies.
I see. And that fills you up until lunch.
It does, because I have the juice, and then that's why, sometimes around 10 o'clock or something, I'm starving, and I make a big smoothie. So,
Right.
and that really fills me.
Right. Now, I heard you say you're married, and so it sounds like, is your husband raw as well?
Yeah, he actually has an amazing story. I know we probably don't have time for it, but I knew my husband 20 years ago. He was the love of my life, and I tell the story at my certification classes, and everyone cries. But I knew him years ago. I dated him for 2 years. He was the love of my life, but I was on this raw food path and to change the world, and I was going to write books, and he was doing other stuff. So I didn't see him for 18 years, and he called me out of the blue, and he was given a year to live.
Oh.
And I said, it's your choice, but they wanted him to go on interferon, which is chemotherapy. Right. And I said, if you want to do raw food, we can just start, eating raw and working out. And he did, and he's healthier than he's ever been. That's 8 years later.
Wow, that's a fantastic story.
I know. I usually drag it out, but it is a cool story. And from the day he called me and, reconnected, after 18 years, I married him a week later. So
Really?
yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's kind of a cool story. I keep saying I need to write a book about it.
Oh, yes, you do. I see a book in your future, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, and how long has it been since he's been disease-free?
8 years.
8 years. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. That's such a testament to
it is,
you and raw
that's
food.
the thing. I mean, I get emails every day of people healing themselves and, amazing things. And it's really, even though I believe in it and I've been doing this for over 20 years, it still blows my mind how powerful this really is.
Well, you've really inspired me yet again to go back and incorporate even more raw food because, I'd say it's probably 50% raw now, but I'm going to up it to 75%, I think.
Oh, good,
good. Well,
and the more you do, again, I tell people go raw right away, but a lot of people, it's a transition, and the more you do it and the more raw food you eat, I always tell people that your taste buds will just gradually change. I'm sure you've noticed that.
Yes.
That, instead of craving junk food, the more raw food you eat, then your body naturally starts craving it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Alyssa. We've been speaking to Alyssa Cohn, and she's the author of the new book, Raw Food for Everyone, published by Avery Penguin. Go to Amazon and find it. And you have a website?
I do, alyssacohen.com.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. And
thank you.
And thank you for listening today. For podcasts and more information on the show, visit yoursupernaturallife.com. You can also download the show on iTunes. My book, Supernatural Home, is endorsed by Deepak Chopra, Ralph Nader, John Gray, Dr. Joe Mercola, and many others. You can find it on Amazon or my website, supernaturalmom.com. If you type in supernaturalmom.com/free gift, you can download a free 20-question quiz from my book to help you determine where, when, and how you are unwittingly being exposed to dangerous chemicals from everyday products in your home. Plus, you'll get tips on turning your home into a safe haven. Also, take advantage of my expertise where I come to your home and do a super healthy home makeover. You can email me at beth@supernaturalmom.com for more information. See you here next week. Remember, have a supernatural life. I'm Beth Greer.